Hello, my dear parents. In this series of episodes, I am discussing the most relevant and important concept called deliberate practice, which is a thesis of Dr. Anders Ericsson of Texas University. Deliberate practice gives you the methodology or the roadmap to make your children world class in whatever field they have chosen. Can be sports, fine arts, journalism, or it can be anything what you want, world class. So in the last episode, I explained to you that the skills that you have to develop in your children should be relevant for the field you have chosen. So I gave some examples. In this episode, I'm going to give you a very important point. The number of hours your child is practicing is very, very important. Practicing, quote unquote, practicing, which means deliberate practicing or deliberately practicing. That has to be done by the person, your child. Watching somebody playing or practicing cannot be taken into account for the 10,000 hours I was mentioning to you in the beginning of this episode. But that will be useful to know how somebody else is playing, somebody else is practicing. Let's say that your child wants to make a mark, wants to become a world-class expert in violin. You take him to any number of concerts. In fact, you should. The entire music season, you should take him to any number of concerts. Let him watch. These days, acquisition of knowledge, acquisition of expertise is in your fingertips. In the YouTube, you have everything that you want. People upload it. So that's fine. How many hours you are watching is very, very important. That is useful to the extent of noticing, watching somebody playing the same game, playing the same instrument. It's a nice thing in the toolkit, but by itself, it will not get you the expertise. You have to do it. Your child has to do it. So you can divide the number of hours. A, watching somebody playing the game. B, noticing how the person is playing the game. C, analyzing your approach vis-a-vis that person's approach, and ultimately implementing it. Ultimately, it is the kinesthetic, it is the way, it is the play which is very, very important. So let me say this once again. It is not just watching a skill being performed. You have to really make your child to play. The next tenet is very interesting. Deliberate practice requires effort and attention from the learner. Learning is very, very important. More the self-interest, more will be the effort, and more should be the attention. Effort and attention is an internal factor which cannot be forced on your children. It's a result of a passion. It is a result of your child visualizing his achieving a goal in n number of hours. That comes only by sitting with your child, exploring what is going on in his mind, and giving a shape to his visual dream in reality. By force, he can do nothing. Punishment will not get you anywhere. I have come across parents Just because they are interested that the children should do well in a field which they want their child to succeed, make a mark, forcing. Allow the children to decide. Find out where their passion is. Unless and until they are passionate, they are not going to take the effort. They are not going to pay attention. And so, effort and attention. And so, effort and attention from the learner is required. Unless and until this mindset is installed in your child, this is not going to work out. And so, understand this simple tenet. Unless and until your child is passionate, he is not going to pay attention, he is not going to take the effort, because I told you, deliberate practice by itself is not a pleasurable experience. It calls for a lot amount of sacrifice. I have an interesting anecdote to explain to you to describe what effort is. See you in the next episode.